Hey there, welcome to Nelson Oliver Cards. Today we're going to be doing another community deck review around the Meditation, which was the Deck Factory card from last week. So I did a video where we talked about Meditation, we built a deck, and then the community built some decks. We're going to be taking a look at 3 decks from the community, talking about them, showing them off, and just celebrating with them. So hope you enjoy. Let's hop into it. For deck 1. So this first deck that we're going to be looking at today is Inner Peace Outer Fury from Andyr, and it's a Tony Stark deck. I love this. Tony Stark, I think, is a fantastic choice for Meditation because he wants to spend a lot of time in his alter ego because he needs to build up his Iron Man suit to get that big hand size in hero form. I've been kind of thinking about how I want to be doing these videos, if they provide benefits to the community at all. I think I'm going to try, and what I'm going to do is kind of go through the deck, but also try and offer a critique or a change maybe that I would look at and know that this is not, I don't think the deck's bad at all, but I thought that that would be some way to kind of spark some discussion and kind of be thinking about it. So when I offer critique, or if I say maybe I would do this, that's not, going at somebody. That's not saying, hey, like, why didn't you do this? That's more of a, I'm trying to spark discussion around these decks. And so that's great. But let's talk about Tony Stark. Tony is so good. I love the fact that his futurist ability in Alter Ego allows you to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and then add one of those to your hands and then discard the other. You can do this once per round. This is twofold beneficial here because we can either grab a meditation in order to find a target that we can then use for meditation, or find meditation if we have a target in our hand for meditation, or find a target for meditation if we already have a meditation. Now what andyr has done here is just doubled up on that futurist ability and added White Fox and Digging Deep to the deck. And so when we use that futurist ability, we're discarding the other 2 cards. Oops, wrong one. Discarding the other 2 cards. If we discard a Digging Deep or a White Fox, we get to add those into our hand, or in White Fox's case, put them into play under their control. This is also great. White Fox is a lightning resource, so we can double combo that with our Repulsor Blast, getting the damage and putting her into play. It's so good. I freaking love it. It's amazing. So we have that meditation target we can build up really quick. Now we are playing protection in this deck, and so we have our energy barriers, which are tech, which does add to Iron Man's hand size. Now, so energy barriers, force field generators are also tech. They can add to the hand size. Force field generators are that 3 costs, which we can use for meditation, so we can build those really quick. Combine that with all of the upgrades and everything that we have in Tony's kit, that is another target for meditation. What I would probably look to add here, I don't know if we need this many force field generators, especially if we're spending a lot of time in alter ego. Now this is a forced response, so we have to use these charges before we can play another one because it's max 1 per player. And I'm wondering if how frequently we are in alter ego, if we're actually going to be able to deplete these charges enough, or if these are just going to be dead cards in our hand. Now we do have the benefit that this is a lightning resource, so we can combo it with the Repulsor Blast, get damage out of the deck that way. And so in that sense, it is nice to have. I love what is electrostatic armor. I love electrostatic armor for Iron Man. It's a 1 cost tech upgrade in green. Fantastic card. The other thing that I would say here is we got 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 targets for power protection. If we're running power protection with meditation, I wonder how frequently we're going to be just kind of over resourced if we have too many resources here. So I would probably look to swap out power protection and one-ish force field generator, which opens up a couple of slots for us, which can give us more allies. We can run plasma pistols, which are also techs in the basic package that can pump up his hand size, or we can look to add some more of those high cost allies. I'm thinking Nick Fury's, Professor X's, cards that will cycle our deck, especially in the Nick Fury, and can be another meditation target. If we look down here at the card cost, we're at 12 total efficient triggers for meditation, which is really good. But if we take out 2 of those force field generators, because we can only have 1 on the table, we're getting a little costed there. And so I may look at trying to add more more higher cost allies, dropping the force field generator and dropping the power protection because we're at 8 resources. And so that can kind of help smooth out and make sure that we always have a target for the meditation that we can then tutor using his futurist ability. Really, really like the deck. I think this is a ton of fun. We've got Brother Voodoo in here, which is going to go allow us to grab a event. And so that can be meditation. So if we play a Brother Voodoo straight up by paying its cost, that's 4 effective costs. We still have 2 cards in our hand. If one of those is like the Mark V armor, and we've counted our cards, we can play Brother Voodoo, search the top 5 cards of our deck, pull out a card which is then a meditation target or actually meditation itself. It would have to be meditation because you're searching for an event. Exhaust, throw that onto the table, and so there's a lot of really, really cool synergy here. Very, very excited about this deck. I'm really happy to see an Iron Man deck. I feel like he is such a great user of meditation. But yeah, so this is Andyr. Also, all these decks are going to be linked down below. Please, please, please check them out and let them know what you think. Go comment on their decks as well, because that's also a lot of fun to comment on the decks that are published. Alrighty, let's move on to the next one. So kind of a thematic pair here. This is Soldier of S.H.I.E.L.D, which is published by iwasframed, and this is a War Machine deck. Part of me, well, one, I wanted to talk about War Machine with meditation because I think that what iwasframed is saying here is one of the best users of meditation. I would almost argue he could be the best user of meditation out there. So I wanted to talk about a War Machine deck that was submitted, but then also comboing it right there with Iron Man was kind of fun. So War Machine is so good for meditation. He wants to be an alter ego because whenever he flips down to alter ego, or actually whenever he flips to hero form, he gets to add those ammo counters to War Machine. So you need to be flipping in order to get the ammo counters, which is his currency to run pretty much all of his events and all of his upgrades. And so we need those ammo counters. That means that we have to go down. Combine that with a mediocre stat line of 1-2-2. We're under the curve of what stat line we're looking for, which is typically I'm looking to sum to at least 6 is what I would think of a good stat line. Attack is okay, but we have so much damage output in his events and in his upgrades that I'm very rarely using War Machine to attack. Defense, maybe we could defend if that gets a little tricky, but really he doesn't love his basic activation, and so we can use that basic activation for a meditation and use the meditation as to exhaust and then get some of these high cost cards out on the table. And oh my goodness, iwasframed has loaded this up with some epic targets for the meditation. So we have Agent 13 here. Agent 13, 4 cost, good target for meditation. And right here we are either readying Helicarrier, Sky Destroyer, or my favorite thing, Munitions Bunker. So if we're readying Munitions Bunker, we can exhaust Munitions Bunker to place 2 ammo counters. So on our trip down, add 2, trip back up. The next turn we can add 2. And I like to fill this Munitions Bunker up for that kind of final push when we are playing War Machine. So load Munitions Bunker up with like 8, 9, 10, and then Shoulder Cannon our way to victory. Let's pull up Shoulder Cannon real quick. We got Shoulder Cannon here. So we have that combo. Agent 13 can ready the Munitions Bunker because it is shield traded, and we can just get that ramp even quicker. We got Dum Dum, we got Beast, which can go and grab all of these resource cards, which is great. Kalu is kind of doing the same thing that Brother Voodoo was doing earlier, where we're searching the top 5 cards of our deck for an event, which can be meditation here. So we got meditation, we can find that card and then play. We got a pretty decently high cost curve. We got 9 cards at 3, 4 cards at 4, and then 1 card at 5 that can, I believe, all be played in alter ego. There's nothing really stopping us from playing most of these high cost cards. I guess Scorched Earth is kind of the outlier there in alter ego form, which means that they can be targets for our meditation. White Tiger draws us cards. Snow Guard draws us. Our Snow Guard is really fun. I'm probably grabbing the 2 counter here on Snow Guard, giving us that +3 thwart, which is going to help offset the low thwart that War Machine has in his kit. And then we're just making trips down to alter ego as frequently as we possibly can. X has Confuse in here, which is really nice. And then this is an 80 carry deck, right? If we're playing solo, this functions really well. If we're playing multiplayer, oh my goodness, we can sit and chill and alter ego throw out allies, be protecting be protecting our friends while we're in alter ego by throwing, Professor X, Nyx, Mockingbirds, or Blocking Birds out in front, Maria Hills. All of these cards can be thrown out, and we can sit in alter ego, being readying that munitions bunker, be building ourselves up, and then we can flip up when we are ready if we have other people at the table that can just kind of manage the threat a little bit while we prepare. And whoa, we're going hot, and we can build really quick. I love this. I love this deck so much. I'm curious. iwasframed talks about using a rapid response here, where I think rapid response works. Mission leader also, I think I may swap mission leader out here. I would probably not run mission leader here, mainly because how frequently are we going to be able to trigger it? Because it is a hero response. If we want to be an alter ego super frequently in a solo game, we could probably figure it out. We could probably time it so that it's right. But if it's a multiplayer game, I would probably look to drop mission leader and maybe add a couple of rapid responses so we can double up on a couple of these allies. But yeah, I mean, a lot of shield stuff, a lot of things to trigger Sky Destroyer, and we can have a good time with this deck. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I think War Machine is one of those heroes that anytime I see him outside of the justice aspect, I'm instantly intrigued, because I feel like he was so shoehorned into justice when he first came out because of the confuse, and now we've got a couple of answers to that with X. We have a lot of thwarting, like what we do here in iwasframed deck. We can kind of mess around with that justice shoe-in and see how we can play. So Soldier of S.H.I.E.L.D. from iwasframed. Really like this deck. Check it out. Link is in the video description. And the last deck that we're going to look at today is from AndersGabrielsson, and this is Quicksilver takes the Avengers on a speed meditation retreat, which I love the name here, but I had to pick a Quicksilver deck, right? I love Quicksilver, and I don't know why I didn't think about Quicksilver and meditation, but we were talking about it in the Discord, and Quicksilver and meditation just work so well together. Same with Wanda, actually, because of the ability. Nope, I need to stop doing that. Because the superpower siblings ability, where you discard 2 cards from your hand, draw 2 cards, or 3 cards if Wanda is in play. What you're able to do is cycle your deck super fast and find a meditation and a target from meditation to combo together in the same turn, especially with superpower siblings, especially if you have Scarlet Witch, when Scarlet Witch is a great target for meditation. 3 cost, boom, perfect. So really like that idea here. Also, Quicksilver does love his basic activation. He really wants to be using his activation, but if you start in hero form, you always get that free ready after a basic power use. So if you thwart, you get to stand up, and then you can flip down and use meditation. Or if you are in alter ego, you can use meditation. You have to find a way to running, and they talk about here, use the several industries. Let me pull that up. Where is it? Several industries here to shuffle 2 Quicksilver cards from your discard pile into your deck, and we can use that to find always be running, which can ready Quicksilver. So the bad part about using the basic activation, we can get back if we have one of these 4 copies of always be running in the deck, and we can cycle into them using that superpower siblings, so we can kind of negate that negative benefit of, or the negative penalty of meditation. Now we're kind of taking on, Anders is kind of taking on a high Avenger crew here, and we're using Mighty Avengers to increase the attack and thwart of each Avenger that we have in play, assuming that all of our characters have Avengers. So we want to be rolling down, and we are bringing along a upgrade. Here it is. We are bringing along an honorary Avenger to make sure that we keep the Avenger trait. We keep the Mighty Avengers benefit online as we are in alter ego, and then all of our allies here are going to just get super strong. Cap goes to a 3/3, and we can reduce the cost to play Cap. So there's a lot of allies here that just work super well. We're bringing Captain America, Captain Marvel, Giant Man, War Machine, and White Tiger. Again, love the White Tiger play here with meditation. Perfect cost here. We can exhaust, play White Tiger, and draw 2, 3 cards. 1, 2, or 3 cards, I guess, based on the stage that we're in. Awesome stuff. I think what I would look here is I want a couple more allies. We have 5 ally slots because we have Avengers Tower. that increases our ally slot. All of our allies are Avengers, so we have Avengers Tower, we have Triskelion, and we have a lot of allies that kind of want to be cycling, so they're not going to be sitting in play, right? Captain America can kind of sit out there, but he does have the toughness benefit, so whenever he comes into play, he gets that tough status card. So I may want to cycle Cap, but also a 3-3-4 on the table is pretty awesome. Mainly what I'm talking about here is Captain Marvel. She has a win entering play from the response. We have Giant Man, who we don't have a ton of we don't have any healing in this deck actually, and so once we meet or exceed that threshold of 3 or more remaining hit points, I probably want to cycle Giant Man. We have White Tiger, who I want to be cycling, and then War Machine can hang out on the table, as well as Scarlet Witch. Well, we have too many ally slots and not enough allies. I think I would add Falcon, the leadership ally, so we can pop him in, remove threat, then use him to activate either by probably thwarting, potentially attacking as well for that 3 once we have Mighty Avengers on the table, and using him as a chump block. So this can work out really, really well for us, and it can also kind of mitigate the problem that we're going to have early in the game, where we talk about here with low health, low defense leaves us pretty vulnerable, and we're going to have to take some damage, which we can heal up with crew quarters, but we're going to have to take some damage. If we add more cards or more allies into the deck that are chump block able, that we don't necessarily need to keep on the table, I think that we could get a lot of benefit out of cycling some of these cards and using them to chump block. So I would go Falcon, I would go with Power Man. Power Man comes in, perfect meditation target. He gets those chi counters. He can attack for 5 with Mighty Avengers and then be a block. And then maybe in a higher minion scenario, I may want to throw Hawkeye in here. Quicksilver can be pretty decent at minion cleanup, so he can go out there with a maximum velocity to take out a ton of minions. But Hawkeye, being able to use Hawkeye, here, let me pull him up, but being able to use Hawkeye, cleaning up minions, then also a 3-2-2 with that Mighty Avenger support turned on. Really like Hawkeye here. Honestly, I think I may even go just over that 40 card limit. I'm not 100% sure if there's anything I would really cut here, because most of our cards are going to be on the table. We got a total of 16 upgrades and support, plus our 3-player side scheme, so 19 of the 40 cards are either staying on the table or being taken out of the game. And so we're going to be running with a pretty thin deck, and with the superpower siblings we'll be able to hit the meditations, and I want to find allies that I'm going to be consistently rotating in and out of play. And so I like that. It would be awesome if Nick Fury was an Avenger character, because I think he would work so well in this deck. But no, I don't think we want to run anything that's not an Avenger, mainly because we have the Mighty Avengers here. So I really liked this deck. I thought the superpower siblings to cycle to find a target for meditation, or to find a meditation if we already have a target, was super fun. Big fan of that. So yeah, really cool. I really enjoy looking at all the decks. We got a good number of decks submitted this week for meditation, and so I had a lot of fun looking at all of those. Thank you if you submitted the decks. Thank you for submitting. I looked at them. I looked at every single one that was submitted, and they're all really, really fun. Really cool stuff out there. Another really fun one that I wanted to talk about, but I'm limiting these videos to 3, was like a Psylocke deck build for using Cerebro to pull targets for meditation when you're an alter ego. That was from Stumpy Fjord. I thought that one was awesome. That just a lot of really creative deck builds this week. And so thanks for hanging out. Stay tuned for tomorrow, if you're watching this on the release day, for tomorrow's deck factory. Got an interesting one, so I'm looking forward to putting that onto the table. And thanks for hanging out. I'll see you next time. Peace.